I want to talk about the annotation assignments that you all will be doing. So bear with me for a second while I log into the site. And I want to go over a couple of things that we didn't get to in class. So here we are at the site, right here as it is. What you'll notice, like I talked about in class, is a huge tag cloud that's right over here, which is a conglomeration of all of the research that has been done for the last couple of semesters organized by these tags. Now, the idea of the tag cloud is that the bigger the font size of the words that you find here, or the concepts or ideas that you see, the more actual posts have been made on that particular thing. So for example, ESL is really popular. Learning has 10 topics. Creative writing has 11. Communication and so on. What I want us to do is to add to this tag cloud with your annotations. Now how do we go about doing that? Like I talked about in class yesterday, what I want you all to do is I want you to post an annotation. And you could call it Annotation 1, but that's a heck of a thing to call something. It's pretty bland. It doesn't really say what you're talking about. So let's say you got interested in the idea of genre and uptake, which is something that we've talked about for a little bit over the last couple of days. And you want to find something on that. Now what I did right here is I found a pretty good article just by Googling genre and uptake. If you're on campus, you should be able to, and if you use pretty specific terms, you should be able to find some scholarly articles for genre and uptake right there. There's a whole list of them right here, and you'll see if you're on campus, the Find It at Chico link right here will allow you to download it through the databases that we have at Chico State. So you have a whole bunch that use the word in some way, uptake, or are talking about the ideas of genre and uptake together. So what I did right here, and this is just one way to do it through Google Scholar, is I found this, written by Irene Clark, who is actually the one who wrote the chapter on genre in the book that we're using, Concepts and Composition. So what I'm going to do is really quickly show you how to do an annotation that could be useful for our site. Let's pretend for a second that I've read this one. What I would want to do in a case like this is I would want to go down to the bottom of the source and highlight basically the bibliographical information right here. I would come back over and I would put that in right here. Now I can change that around a little bit so it looks a little bit more like MLA, but bear with me for a second. What we want to do is we want to offer some kind of summary of the piece quickly. Let's just say, 5 sentences or so, which capture the basic ideas that the author is working with. And then I'd like us to write just a little bit about how it could be useful for our class. Maybe how it adds to our discussions, complicates them, and so on. So let's pretend that these two things right here took maybe 5, 8 sentences, something like that, and that you wrote that in. What I'd also like you to be able to do is to give us a link to the thing itself. Now to link it, what you do is you go back up to the top here, and you'll see that you can actually take the URL, and then with this handy button right here, you can insert a link. What you've done right here is you have added an actual live link into your site so that we can get to it ourselves. Then, and this is the important part, what I want you to do is to tag it so that it ends up in the tag cloud. You see right here, this is the tag section. And I don't want you to add a new tag so much as I want you to search through the tags that already exist. And at least I think this should be your first step. So let's just look. I want to use genre, of course. This is about teaching, so I think I'd want to use the teaching tag. I'd probably also want to use the students tag and maybe even the media tag. You see what has happened here is that all these tags have been added to this particular annotation. What that enables then is when I post this, and I'm going to post it right now, it enables this source right here to be added to the tag cloud. So for example, if I go back to the genre tag right here, you'll see my most recent one is right here at the top. So you'll see what's so great about this is that if you get interested in an idea, you can not only see what people have already submitted to the site that could be interesting and useful for you to read, you can also add to that store of information. And as I was talking about yesterday, if you change your mind, you decide you're no longer interested in this particular thing and you'd like to search something else, or you'd like to sort of inquire into a different question, you have a whole bunch of links and ideas to get you started. Readings that you can do or you can skim for the information that you'd like to consider, and ways to start putting stuff together, synthesizing information. So I'm hoping this is useful for you. What I'm assuming will happen is by Monday this site will be flooded with different annotations, and that's totally fine. What's important for us is that it ends up in this tag cloud right here. Okay, that's it.